Hey everybody, welcome back to day 18 of Fable's 30-day yoga series. Day 18, how are we there already? For those of you who maybe have skipped a day or a couple of days and haven't met me before, I'm Tash. Today we're going to move through another power flow. Today we're actually going to focus a little bit more on the whole body, so no area specifically. And at times we may move quite dynamically, quite fast, but as always, please honor your own body, take it at your own pace, take any variation up or down. If you just want to hang out in Shavasana or Child's Pose, do it, it's your practice, that's the most important thing. But yeah, we're going to start on our backs, so meet me there. Okay, so if you can also just make sure that you've got two blocks or books or something just to add a little bit of support underneath your hands should we use them. Maybe you may think that you don't need to or you don't want to, but they're always super handy to have. Our props are our friends, remember? So we're going to start lying down on our backs. So once you get there, find what's comfortable. My lower back is actually feeling not so great today, so I'm actually going to keep my legs, my knees bent, and just allow my knees to drop in towards each other. But perhaps for you, you feel more rested with your legs out extended. So do what works for you in your body. Close down your eyes. Take your arms down beside the body, maybe a little bit wider. So just imagining that you're creating space for air to move and circulate around. If you haven't already, close down your eyes. And we're just going to take a few moments here before we start to move, just to really arrive onto our mats, but most importantly, into our own bodies. So I know I'm not alone when I say I spend so much time in my head, in my masculine energy, in that real thinking and doing space. And what I need to do more of is to come back to my heart, to come back into that feeling space and really be in my body so that I can experience my emotions, what my body needs. So just take a moment to check in. Maybe have a little body scan, noticing how you're feeling right now in this moment. And not just physically, and not just kind of in a basic answering way of just saying good or bad. Really try to think about how you're actually feeling. Where your mind is, whether it feels busy, whether it feels quite calm. You're day 18 of doing yoga each day, so maybe you're in a super good headspace. Hats off if you are, but maybe that 30 minutes sometimes isn't enough. And when you arrive on your mats, you're a little bit busy mentally, and maybe you can just slow things down. And then just take a second to check in with your breath. Not changing it, but just noticing as you inhale and you exhale, where it is that you're feeling the breath. So oftentimes when we're busy and feeling a little bit frazzled, we breathe just into the upper part of that chest. So it tends to be a little bit more of a short, shallow breath. And that can leave us in our sympathetic state, so in that kind of fight or flight response. It's pretty normal. But where we really want to spend a lot of our time operating from is that place of rest and digest, that really calm space. So let's now see, no matter where your breath is, if we can all start to make it more conscious, a little bit more full, a bit more nourishing. So as you inhale, try to find as much expansion into the body as you can. And as you exhale, maybe sigh the breath out. Take a few breaths like that. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's take one more all together. Big inhale. Big exhale. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw our knees in towards our chest. As you draw the knees in, maybe blinking the eyes open and having a little rock from side to side, just massaging out our lower back. So I'm probably putting this in today because I need it. But this feels really nice. So notice even if you kind of really hug the knees in your lower back and your bum isn't in contact, maybe see if you can let the lower back sit onto the mat and just rock from side to side, like you're trying to really broaden and widen that area. Perhaps as you're here and we're not really needing to think very much, just ask yourself how you want to feel when you walk off of the mat today, this evening, whatever time of day it is for you, and allow yourself to move in a way that's going to achieve that. Find stillness in the center. We're going to bring our hands to the back of the thighs and just rock up and back a few times. So we're going to rock up and back, massaging out that soft tissue right from our lower back all the way up between our shoulder blades. And then we're going to have a little mobility challenge. So let's see if without using your hands on the next rock up, you can come all the way up to seated. That's to seated to standing. Good, coming up. Did you make it? If you want to give it another go, if you didn't quite come down, maybe give it another try. If you need to use your hands to pop up, then go for it. Good, and then just take a moment here. Find what is a nice neutral position for you. So stack your feet, maybe underneath the hips, and just bring your hands together into prayer at the heart center. Allow the shoulders to relax down away from the ears, closing down your eyes if you haven't already. And we'll just take a few moments here just to really ground through the feet, to find our foundations. With every inhale here, really think about finding space through the body, space up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, really feel that grounding happening through the feet. Good. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down beside the body. Okay, let's flow together. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze up towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, I want you to take your hands behind the back and interlace your fingers. Be mindful here not to lock out your elbows if you can help it. You're going to bend the knees and draw your hands down beneath the bum as you arch the spine and lift the chest. Gaze up. And as you exhale, melt forward, taking the arms overhead, coming into your forward fold. Oh, this feels super nice in the hamstrings. Good. With the knees bent, have a little wiggle from side to side. Notice how this feels in the chest and the shoulders as well. Beautiful. Take one more big inhale here. One more exhale. Notice how the back of the legs are feeling, how the chest is feeling. Good. Gently release the hands down. As you do, inhale to lift up into a halfway lift. Now maybe your hands touch the ground here. Maybe they feel more comfortable up on the thighs. Go with what works for you. And then as you exhale, melt the belly all the way down onto the thighs. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Take your arms overhead, gaze up towards your thumbs. We're going to flow through that 2 more times. As you exhale, take the hands behind the back. As you inhale here, draw the hands down beneath the bum, lift the heart to the sky. As you exhale, melt forward, come into your forward fold. Moving a little bit quicker now. Full inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, melt the belly down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands high, gaze up towards your thumbs. Last time through. Exhale, take the hands behind the back. Inhale, draw the hands down beneath the bum, bend the knees, arch the spine, lift the heart to the sky. Exhale, take it forward, Uttanasana. Take a full inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Gaze up towards your thumbs. This time we're going to flow through our vinyasa. Exhale, take it all the way down. As you inhale here, lift up, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back to your high plank. Nice. Really firmly plug down here. So press down through the hands. Think about pressing the ground away from you, being super strong in the shoulders. Firm up through the quads. Come onto the tiptoes of your feet. Lower the knees down. Bring the tops of the feet down. Squeeze the elbows in towards the body. Lower your chest down between the hands. Beautiful. From here, I want you to lift the chest up. Keep the tops of the feet firmly pressed down into the mat. And see if you can release your hands. Take your gaze slightly forward. Try to find length through the back of the neck. So try not to crank your head up. This feels not great on the neck or, the throat or the neck. So really lift up, squeeze the glutes. See if you can lift a little bit higher, finding that nice active back bend, waking up the back line of the body. And as you exhale, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Shift back via your child's pose. And then lift up to your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a full inhale here. A full exhale. Really arrive into your downward dog. Check that your mind is still within the four edges of your mat, that it's not drifting anywhere, that it's not starting to think about your to-do list or anybody in the house that's maybe making a noise and getting on your nerves. Really just try to stay super present. And then if you feel like taking some movements, just waking up the body, if this is your first downward dog of the day, go for it. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring the feet together. And on your next inhale, float your right leg up towards the sky to find your three-legged dog. So once you come into your three-legged dog, often what we see is the right hip kind of opens up. See if you can take your gaze back. Make sure the toes are facing down so the hips are nice and square. Press down through your hands and more energy towards the back of your mat. This is going to feel super intense in that left hamstring. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, shift your weight forward, draw the thigh in towards the chest, look between your hands as you pop your right foot down. Beautiful. As you inhale here, rise up into your high lunge. Nice. As you inhale, extend up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, we're going to lower the knee. We're going to hover here for 5, for 4. Try and have 90-90 through the backs of the legs. 2, 1. Good. Release the hands. So straighten that back leg, bend into the front leg, frame your foot, step back to your high plank. Take a nice big inhale here. As you exhale, lower the knees. Tops of the feet come down, chest comes down between the hands. As you inhale, lift the heart. Release the hands. Try not to let the chest drop. Keep the tops of the feet pressed down. Squeeze the glutes, lift a little bit higher. When you're ready, bring the hands back underneath the shoulder. Everyone's like, we're all ready, take us there. Shift back via your child's pose. Tuck the toes under, lift up, downward facing dog. Bring the soles of the feet together. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Same thing, make sure you haven't opened up through that hip. Toes are gonna face down, heels gonna press back. Send more energy towards the back of your mat, like you're trying to push your hands away from you. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, come high up onto the tiptoes of your right foot. Draw that left thigh in towards the chest. Pop your left foot between the hands. Strong through both legs. Adjust the feet if your balance is a little bit wobbly so that they're wider. As you inhale, sweep the hands high, high lunge. Exhale, really arrive here. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to lower the right knee down, finding that 90-90 position, holding here. For 3, for 2, for 1, bring the arms down, straighten that back leg, bend into the front leg, step back, high plank. Take a nice full inhale. As you exhale, lower the knees, hips and chest lower at the same time. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release the hands. This time I want you to take your hands back behind the body. Palms are going to face up, point the toes. Lift up the thighs, squeeze the glutes. See if you can lift everything so you're just balancing on your hip points. Take a nice big inhale, squeeze everything, lift nice and high. And then exhale, release down. Woo! Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Take it back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale here. And a nice, long, slow exhale out of the mouth. Bringing the feet together. We're going to start to add a few more challenges. On your next inhale, float your right leg to the sky. As you exhale, shift forward, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Squeeze it in. Notice if that right foot is trying to drop down towards the mat. Really hug the toes in towards the bum. Press strongly into your hands. And then we're going to drop onto the knife edge of our left foot. From here, we're going to take the weight into our left arm, feeling super strong. Option to pop the right foot down in front, taking the right hand up, or maybe taking the foot and popping it to the inside of the thigh for your tree pose. Good, really strong through that arm. Really lift up through the hips here. Take one more big inhale. And as you exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest. In one motion, step your right foot to the top of the mat. Nice. From here, we're going to sweep both hands up, come back into our high lunge. As you exhale, lower that back knee down, find 90-90. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to open up the arms to the right to come into a twist. Nice. Notice if your legs are starting to wobble like mine. Really lift up through the crown of the head. Sink a little bit lower. Beautiful. From here, we're going to drop that back heel down as we windmill the arms to come into our warrior two. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale here. As you exhale, start to straighten out your right leg. Come onto the heel. Start to bend into your left leg as you turn the toes towards that corner of the mat. And we're going to come down into Skandasana. So I've got my back to you here, but you can really see actually from behind what's happening. So notice I'm pressing that left knee out. I actually find it more comfortable not having my heel down. So go with what works for you. And let's try and find an opening into that right hip. So really work to turn those toes to face up towards the ceiling. Maybe you have the hands down, maybe you have them lifted. And then using as much strength as you can muster through the legs, we're going to take it back into our warrior two. So moving forward, opening up your arms, bend into your right leg, warrior two. Beautiful. Curl your hands down. Frame your foot, step back. High to low push up, knees down, knees up. I don't mind which. Go for what works for you. Inhale, upward facing dog. Open the heart, squeeze the glutes. This feels really nice now. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale. And a nice exhale out of the mouth. And let's take that to the other side. Feet together. Inhale, left leg lifts. Beautiful. Exhale, shift forward, high up onto the tiptoes. Hug that thigh in towards the chest. Press the ground away from you, create space. Beautiful. Pop your left foot between the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower that back knee down. We're going to hover here for 3, for 2, for 1. Open up the arms. So we're now opening to the left. Good, breathing here. Trying to rotate the chest to the right whilst maintaining those hips nice and square to the top of the mat. Good, and then we're going to cartwheel the arms, dropping that back heel down, opening up into our warrior two. Really sink into that front leg. Good, breathing here. Take one more full inhale. As you exhale, bend into the right knee, straighten the right leg, lifting up. Good, finding your Skandasana. Lifting up through the crown of the head. Good, rotating so those toes are facing up towards the ceiling. We're finding that external rotation through the hip. Oh, I've got hair in my mouth. Good, lifting up. Taking it back now into your warrior two. Find that strength in your legs, open up. Good, gaze to the middle finger of your right hand. Cartwheel the hands down. Frame your foot. Step back here into your high plank. Good, from here, we're gonna drop onto our right side. So we're coming onto the knife edge of the foot. I'm afraid I forgot this side plank on the other side, so I'm gonna make you do it now. You're gonna take the left foot in front. You're gonna lift the hips up. Take the arm up. Again, if you're comfortable, and you feel super strong here, maybe lifting the leg. Maybe bringing it into tree. We took it onto tree on the other side, so maybe that's where you stay now. Hips come high. Good, and then on your next breath, you're going to lift that left knee off in towards the chest, pop it towards the top of your mat. Good, from here, we're just going to step back to high plank because we already did the rest of the work. So step back and then lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Good, take a moment here to find your breath. A moment to soften. You see, this is why we all need yoga. So even us yoga teachers have super busy minds, and things can slip our minds from time to time. But that doesn't mean we need to change anything, it just means we just got to keep going, keep swimming. Press that energy towards the back of your mat, soften everything up. When you're ready, take your gaze towards the top of your mat. As you exhale, we're all going to play around with a little jump. So you're going to bend your knees, sink your bum back towards your heels, like you're going to come into a child's pose, but keeping the knees lifted. Look towards the top of your mat. Really strongly press down through your hands as you take a little jump to the top of your mat. Nice, lengthen up, halfway lift, maybe hands come to shins, to the ground, I don't mind where. And as you exhale, come down into your forward fold. On your next inhale, lift the belly up. And as you exhale, toe heel the feet, mat distance apart. Toes come just off the edge of the mat. From here, sink the bum down. Come into your malasana. So have a little wiggle out here. I almost never feel completely ready to come straight into this pose. I always feel much more comfortable by just having a little bit of movement in it first. If you're ready to be still, by all means do. Maybe that's serving you better today. But I feel better with a little bit of movement. When you're ready, come to stillness. Make sure here that that weight isn't all collapsing onto the inner arch of the knee and the upper body is kind of rounded forward. Think about really energetically pressing your knees out and pressing that weight into all four corners of the feet. And hopefully that helps you to find some lift. Maybe your hamstring, your calves or your ankles are a little bit tighter and you want to come up onto the ball and toes of the feet, so by all means go there. So do what works for you in your body. Good, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come all the way up to stand. Good, notice how that felt. Squeeze the glutes, keeping the hands into the heart. We're going to lower back down into our yogi squat. Try to keep the chest lifted. Notice what happens through the knees. So sometimes there's a tendency for the knees to start to cave. Really focus on keeping them pressed out. Keep the head high, the spine long. Come all the way up to stand. Squeeze the glutes. So use the strength in these big muscle groups that you've got to keep you nice and stable. Lower down. Oh, it's starting to burn. Good, and then come up with me. Press through all four corners of the feet. Turn the toes. Hips are going to be parallel. Sweep your hands. Sit into your chair pose. Good, as you exhale, really melt down here into this. So the weight is going to stay in kind of the heels of the feet. So maybe lift all 10 toes to check that the weight's not in the toes. You'll notice if it was because you'll do a physical roll back. Sink the bum down. Switch on the glutes. Think about really squeezing here, finding that active engagement. Sink a little bit lower. Good, take one more full inhale. As you exhale, let's rise up onto the tiptoes here. Beautiful, take a big breath. And then we're going to lower all the way down so that our hamstrings rests on our calves and on our heels. Good. So kudos to you if you managed to do that, oops, without wobbling. Good, and then bring the hands together. We're going to come into toe stand. So think here about sending your knees forward. And imagine like you have a wall behind you and you're flattening the back of your head and your lower back into the wall. Finding your drishti, your focus point, to keep you balanced and just dropping back into the breath for a moment. Bringing the hands together. Keeping the breath smooth. Good, stay with me. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to take the knees out wide. And we're just going to walk the hands forward. Good. So we're just really opening into the hips and the groin here. Maybe you felt more comfortable a little bit higher up. Maybe you really want to walk the hands forward. Or maybe if you have a little bit more space in your body, maybe you want to bring your hands around, take hold of the heels, and perhaps lower the head down onto the mat. So go with what feels good. Feels good is very subjective, so maybe it doesn't feel good at all, but maybe it does feel like a really juicy stretch. Good, take one more breath, stay with me. And as you exhale, with the same control you came in, come back up, lifting the head if your head is down. We're going to come back to that toe stand, so using that control, that super yogi focus to draw the knees back together, hands come into the heart. Whoop. Good. Nice balance, so good. And then we're going to sink our bum all the way down to the mat, reach forward, pop your bum down. Nice, how are you feeling? My calves are burning right now. Good, walk your feet out. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly roll onto our backs. Nice control. Draw the knees back in towards the chest and have a little rock from side to side. Notice how this feels now compared with how it felt at the beginning of the practice. And then before we do our final resting, we're just going to do a little bit of core work. Nobody's favorite. Okay, so taking the right leg over your left, we're going to take eagle legs. We're going to take the left arm, wrap the right arm underneath. In fact, I'm not going to do that with my arms because I'm wearing a mic and otherwise it's going to sound awful. But you're going to wrap your arms, maybe I can come this way like this. Okay, from here, you're going to lift the shoulders off of the mat. We're going to draw our elbows towards our knees. And then we're going to allow the toes to tap back and our bodies to stretch out. The hands can touch the ground. We're going to do this for 10. So come in, squeeze. Good. This is 8. Come back. 7. 6. 5. Good. Stay with it. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And go. Nice. Beautiful. Release down. Reach the arms overhead. Have a nice full body stretch. Ooh. God, that burns. It really burns. Okay. And then we're going to switch sides. We've just got 10 more on the other side. And then we're into the beautiful last resting parts of this practice. Left leg comes over the right. Right arm underneath, left arm wraps under. Same thing. I'm not going to do it too much with my arms, so otherwise it's going to sound awful on the mic for you guys. We're going to lift our shoulders off of the mat. Elbows are going to come to knee. And we're going to reach and extend overhead, and the feet are going to come down for 10. Come in. 9. 8. Really try and lift the shoulders up. 7. 6. Don't worry about what my arms are doing. 5. 4. 3. Oh, it burns. 2. Last one. Squeeze it in. Nice. And then release. Oh, God, that feels good. Good or bad in a good way, rather. Reach the arms overhead. Have a nice full body stretch. Oh. And then when you're ready, draw the knees back in. Good. Notice what you're feeling. Just take a moment here. Let your arms rest wherever they like. I'm going to keep mine overhead. Maybe close your eyes and just take a moment to check back in with what sensations you feel right now in your body. Obviously, we've just worked our abdominals, so how does that area feel? What sensations are you experiencing? But we've also worked our whole body, so how do your toes feel, your calves, your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes? How does the back feel? The arms, the shoulders. Again, so often in our practice, We're too busy in our minds that we forget to notice what we feel, what feels good and what doesn't feel so good. So just allow yourself a moment to kind of reflect on your practice. Notice what's happening in your body. And then we're just slowly going to move into a final twist before we come into Shavasana. I'm going to give you the option to either, if you did this practice with me on day 11, then maybe take your supine twist to extend the leg, bring the right knee in and take it across. But as we just did eagle legs for our abs, it might be quite nice to do eagle legs for our twist too. So take the right leg over the top and just allow yourself to roll onto the left side of your body, dropping your knees over to your right, or your left, sorry. Taking your arms out. And just play around with where you have your head, wherever feels most comfortable. Closing your eyes if you haven't already. Allowing your body to really stay in this moment. Slowing your breath, slowing your heart rate. Moving super slowly. We're going to come back to center. Just unwrap the legs. Make sure that you're nice and balanced equally between both sides again, and then switching, so taking your left leg over your right and drop your knees over to the right. If this didn't feel good and you just want to take that regular supine twist with one leg extended, that's fine, go for that instead. Maybe now seeing if you can allow your exhalation to be a little bit longer than the inhalation. Moving super slowly. Come back to center. And then it's all head straight on into our Shavasana. Extending the legs, extending the arms. My back feels much better now, so I feel more comfortable with the legs extended, but maybe you want to drop your knees in and have the knees bent up. Maybe really sigh the breath out so that you can fully drop in here, drop back into your body. And you can stay here for as long as you need. If you're ready to head on up, then meeting me back in our nice seated position. Finding that place that's comfortable for you. Closing the practice all together with one nice big cleansing breath. So taking a big inhalation through the nose and a long heavy exhalation through the mouth. Bringing the palms of the hands together. Gently bowing the forehead towards the hands, towards the heart. Taking a moment to really feel grateful to your body for moving you through these super strong practices, for moving you through this whole series so far. You're doing amazing. Never forget to congratulate yourself or be proud of yourself. Thank you all so much for moving with me, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your January. Namaste.